here we are, guys. Movie Battles BlowOut 2. And the Hammer Bros are finally going to make our mark. We are all over this card. Mr. Coho, the king, finally going to make his mark, going to start that ladder to the championship match, taking down Brian. I, of course, am going to silence Jeremy the Atom Adams once and for all. And then, of course, in the main event, my boys, Cameron, Boatman, you guys are going to do me proud in that championship match. Cannot wait to see the looks on all of those losers' faces.
Well, I mean, what is everyone else even doing here? It was me and Cameron last time. It's me and Cameron this time. Like, no. So is this the best that Cal can do? Is this the best he can do?
I don't know. I mean, you know, the next match after that is going to be you and Coho. So we're going to keep this going. We're going to keep the title in the family, because as goes the title, so goes the power. And once we introduce our newest member, we're going to be unstoppable.
Look, the Brian guy is a loser. The Nazario guy is a loser. And if that's the best that they got, then I don't see why this doesn't just stay right here.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah. And then, of course, you know, like I said, everyone is going to acknowledge Caleb for the king that he is. Everyone is finally going to recognize, they're going to understand that DreamWorks, yeah, sometimes it's better than Disney. And Boatman, we are going to be much more selective on who gets to play in this league. We're going to run the show, guys.
I assume it will just be back and forth between me and Coho.
Yeah. We're just going to keep talking.
Assuming one of us is not currently holding the belt.
Absolutely. We're just going to keep it around the three or the four of us. We'll just have to see. But I'm excited.
This is a Flying Cow production.
Well, hello, and welcome back to Movie Battles here on the Flying Cow, where we take the very best in Disney, Pixar movie trivia, and we put them head to head. And we are here at the start of Movie Battles BlowOut, the biggest event for Movie Battles all year. And here with me to call today's match is the fairest, Amanda VanHiel. Amanda, how are you today?
I am doing great, ready for some movie battles. How are you doing?
Doing very, very well. I am excited to have you here on the first video of Movie Battles BlowOut to call this match. This is a very special type of match. Even different from what we originally intended it to be. Originally, this is still a second chance match, but instead of the 5-way that we had intended, it is actually going to be a 3-way match for that coveted Spinner's Choice token. Whoever wins this match not only gets a win on their record, but a Spinner's Choice token. Amanda, how valuable would a Spinner's Choice token be?
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. It would mean not having packaged films.
You don't have to worry about getting packaged films. You don't even have to worry about spinning that wheel. You're just like, you know what? Actually, I'm going to use this token. I want Renaissance or, Oscars or whatever your category might be. You don't even have to worry about spinning that wheel. And one of these lucky competitors is going to have that opportunity today. We have with us today the Theytriarch, Adelaide Spence. We also have Bethany, Bam Megill, and the Dastardly Dan VanHiel, your husband, and I can't remember his name. But all three of these competitors, they've had a harder time this season getting things going, but now is their opportunity to have a second chance to get a win and to try to claim that Spinner's Choice token. And who knows, maybe that will be just the oomph they need to kind of give them a boost for the season.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it. This is going to be an intense match.
Absolutely. Well, what do you say we go ahead and bring our competitors in for today?
Sounds good.
All right. Introducing first, representing them with a record of 1 win and 3 defeats, they are the Theytriarch, Adelaide Spence. Spence, how are we today?
A little sick. That's about it. Also, fun fact, basically every league I play in, I start 1 and 3. Recently,
Okay.
It's been 1 and 4, so I'm not excited today.
All right. Well, we will just have to see how things go today. But like I said, you have the opportunity not only to add a win to your record, but to claim a Spinner's Choice token. How valuable would that be to starting off next season with a Spinner's Choice token?
I already like not going to round 3, so avoiding that would be helpful. But also, I lose enough. I can just take package films and make it quicker. I can take a nap after matches, maybe a snack. A lot better.
You know what you could also do with it is you could use Spinner's Choice, make it land on Spinner's Choice for like the opponent, so that way you can just sabotage somebody.
Can I do that, Clay? I like that idea.
We've never really looked into using it for other people.
Genie magic. I can
think
get 3
it's
wishes.
Specifically Spinner's Choice, but we can talk. We can talk. All right. Well, thank you, Spence. Good luck to you today.
Yeah.
All right. And their opponent, representing Zap and Pow, with a record of 1 win, 4 defeats, she is Bethany Bam Megill.
Hi, everybody.
Bethany, how are you today?
I am good. I went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. That turned to 1 o'clock. I woke up at 6:30, and so I'm running on whatever coffee I have left in my system.
All right. Well, Bethany, it is great to have you here today.
Thank you.
In once again a multi-person style match. How are you feeling about your chances today, and how huge would that Spinner's Choice token be for you next season?
That would definitely be cool to have. I have watched 1 package film. I'd hope to do a little bit more than that, but that's 1 more than I had seen before. So I am feeling slightly more prepared than usual.
All right. Well, good luck to you today.
Thank you.
And finally, their opponent, representing Dastardly United with a record of 2 wins, 4 defeats. He is Dastardly Dan VanHiel. Dan, how are you?
I'm doing well. We just managed to get back from a Orlando trip, and although it was a small part of it, we did visit a Disney park.
Fun.
So got to ride the new Guardians of the Galaxy coaster.
Okay. Do you feel like that was some good prep for this for
Well,
today?
We walked by a couple of costume characters that
Okay.
I was able to like kind of like flashcards walking around. It's like, oh, that's Donald.
Well, unfortunately, there are no questions that ask what does Donald Duck smell like. But maybe through osmosis we can get something.
Well, he was in the Mexican pavilion, so tacos.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get all of our competitors in here. All right. Well, here we go for our triple threat match. The way this is going to work, it's not going to be your typical triple threat match. It's also not going to be your typical elimination style match, because we are still going to do the same format of different rounds with 5 questions. However, because there are only 3, there will be no eliminations unless it is mathematically so. The way this is going to work is we are going to have rounds of 5 questions. At the end of each round, we are going to add that to your total point total. So we're going to have 4 rounds. At the end of the 4th round, whoever has the highest score will win. Like I said, people can be eliminated mathematically. So if at any point we reach the point of no return and we realize that someone can no longer have a chance in the match, they will be eliminated. Otherwise, we're going to have these 3 till the end.
The trivia event horizon.
Absolutely. So, Amanda,
Yes.
what do you say we go ahead and get things started? Competitors, are you ready?
Oh yeah, I already have the correct answer ready.
Very nice. I don't think
He automatically goes
works.
through.
All right. And Amanda, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, then I don't know about you guys, but I feel ready for a movie battle. Action begin. And we will start in round number 1 with question number 1, which comes to us in the category of early classics. These are the films of the 30s through the 40s. And your question: in Pinocchio, what is the name of the giant whale that swallows Pinocchio and Geppetto? You've been swallowed by a giant whale, Amanda?
I can't say that I've ever been swallowed by a giant whale.
Right? Why is this not something that happens every day? I feel like, you watch that movie, it looks pretty roomy inside there.
Yeah,
Geppetto
I mean,
doesn't
you
have to
can
pay
he sat in a
rent.
boat. Didn't Geppetto sit in a boat in the whale?
I don't know why Pinocchio was in such a hurry to get out of there. It actually
Yeah.
looked pretty comfortable. In
Probably nice and warm, like a nice hot spring.
3,
Are we considering this now? Is that like a
1,
genuine pitch?
plenty of fish. I'm just saying. All right. We are gonna go ahead and start with Spence.
Fingers crossed Brendan Fraser wins an Oscar. Monstro.
Monstro is correct. Bethany.
Monstro.
Monstro.
Like.
Dan.
I should have left the correct answer on the board. I put Leviathan.
All right. So 1 miss already, but Bethany and Spence are tied at 2 going into the second question.
All right, question 2 comes from The Decline, which takes place in the 60s and 70s. Question is, in 1973's Robin Hood, what type of animal is Friar Tuck?
Friar Tuck. I was a big fan of this film as a kid. Went around, singing, the Little John running through the forest.
Yeah, the
I
Oodalali
probably-
song.
Yeah, exactly. Probably got
Love
half
it.
the words wrong, but I mean that's how kids.
Doesn't
sing.
matter, as long as you
Yeah.
get Oodalali, you're fine.
Yeah, Oodalali. All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right, Bethany, let's see what you got.
It's probably one of these animals. I went with badger because I wasn't positive.
Badger is correct. Dan the Man, Dastardly Dan.
I'm 0 for 2. I did mole. I was picturing like the
Ah.
bald head and like
Yeah.
Okay, kind of
All
close.
right.
a cut, you know. Oh.
Dan having
All
a
right,
tough
and
time.
Spence.
Dan, you're good. I also put mole.
Oh.
I mean, add the nose.
That was my
Yes.
second choice. So I'm
All
sorry.
right.
That was the right one.
All right, so Bethany with a 1-point lead overall, 2-1-0. Going now into the third question in the category of dark times. These are, of course, the films of the 2000s. And your question: in what film will you find characters such as Ray, Mama Odie, and the Shadow Man?
Can I get a repeat?
Technically there are no repeats in this, but
Well,
You
how
wanna
about
hear the
a
question
repeat
again?
of the category?
it's dark times.
Dark times. Okay.
All right. So, Dan having a tough time getting started. Let's hope that he can pull things back together with this question. We will just have to see in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, and Dan, we're starting with you, sir.
Well, I was in the middle of writing it down, and I know it's already wrong now. But the Black Cauldron.
That is incorrect. Spence,
Princess and the Frog.
the Princess and the Frog. I think Dan getting his time periods mixed up. Bethany,
No.
Princess and the Frog.
Princess and the Frog. All right, so we are 3 questions in. Excuse me. And unfortunately, Dan's still not on the board. We will just have to see if he can catch up with the next few questions.
I just need one.
You can do it, honey. All right. This next category is early Pixar. Question is, Andrew Stanton directed which 2008 Pixar film?
Already in directors. Obviously, some of these questions are going to be a little easier than others. Gotta have some just to chop up the waters a little bit.
Yeah, this is one that I would know from the year, but not from the director.
Sure. And, you know, sometimes those context clues are in there for a reason. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right, Spence.
Wally.
Wally is correct. Bethany.
Yeah, I got the year wrong. I was like Monsters Inc., but that's probably way too early. So.
That is incorrect. And Dan.
I got closer. I did Monsters University.
Ah.
All right. So Bethany actually missing her first question. So Spence ties things up with her at 3. Dan still pointless going into the final category in this round. And that is the category of hybrid films. All right. And your question. You will find the character Katie Nana in which film? The hybrid films. How many of these are amongst your favorites there, Amanda?
Well, there is one hybrid film that is my absolute favorite film, just period.
Yeah, I think there are some pretty good ones in here. Maybe a couple of lesser knowns, but I think overall a pretty good category. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, and we are starting with Bethany.
I went with Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins is correct. Dan.
Well, looks like I'm saving all a bunch of math because I went with bedknobs and broomsticks.
All
Oh,
right. And Spence.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
All right. So, Bethany actually doing really well that round, only missing one with 4 points in that round. Spence only getting 3, and Dan, unfortunately, a big goose egg. So at the end of that round, the score is currently Bethany 4, Spence 3, and Dan still at 0. So we will have to see if Dan can make that up in the next couple of in the next round. All right, so let us go right into round number 2 with the next question in the category of Renaissance. These are the films mostly of the 90s. And your question. In The Little Mermaid, how many sisters does Ariel have? Little bit of a thinker here.
My favorite of all the Renaissance movies by
The
far.
Little Mermaid. Wow. Well, that's cool. Yeah, the Little Mermaid was probably I mean, it was definitely the most successful because I was born in the 80s, so I lived through a lot of the leaner years, but The Little Mermaid was huge. I remember when that came out. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, and we are starting with Dan.
All right, let's see if I can go anywhere with this. I did 3.
That is incorrect. Spence.
7 Seas, 6 Sisters.
That is
I knew it.
correct. Bethany.
Yeah, I thought it might have been that, but 7 sounded like a good number, so I don't know that.
It's 7 daughters overall, but Ariel has 6 sisters. Yeah.
That makes sense.
All
In the song,
right.
you hear 7th little sister. So I would want to put 7. Like, no, wait, no.
Yeah.
That's how many there are.
All right. So Spence actually tying up with that one, currently in the lead in this round, going into the next category.
All right. Next category is my favorite. Not really my favorite. Package films, which are short collections of the 40s. Question is, in Melody Time, what is the name of the troublesome little tugboat?
Yeah. Have you seen this one yet?
I haven't seen this one.
No?
That's probably why I'm so bad at these. Is now I see them and I'm just like, I don't want to watch it. It makes me mad.
Yeah. I mean, it can be difficult, when you associate something with so much negativity. I think that's
And I'm
why
super
Hannah
petty like that
refuses to watch Soul.
anyways.
Yeah. All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right. We are starting with Bethany, I believe.
Actually, Spence.
Spence. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Spence.
Sorry, cat on the microphone. Is it 2?
Never apologize for kitties. Are we?
Let's get the next couple of answers here.
All right, Bethany.
I've not seen that one. I said Tugabug.
I like the
All right.
name.
Me too.
And Dan.
Pugsley.
Oh, is it Little 2?
It is Little 2.
Oh.
I don't think I can give you 2.
I was pulling from like a weird
yeah.
YouTube video from 5 years
Yeah.
ago, so I was just like,
It's all right. So nobody getting that one. So we will be moving on now to the third question in this round, the category of CG Revolution, the films of the 2010s to the present. And your question: what is the name of the dragon voiced by Awkwafina in Raya and the Last Dragon? This is where we find out how much our competitors are keeping up with the most recent Disney films. This one came out last year, but it depends on whether or not our competitors saw it, how many times they saw it, how much they remember, those kind of things.
oh my God.
Yep, I haven't seen this one. It's one that
No?
like I keep saying every time I see like anything about it, I'm like, I need to see that movie, and I
Sure.
just haven't had a chance to watch it.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't, spectacular, but I did enjoy it in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So we are starting, I believe, with Bethany this time.
I have seen this one, but not since it came out in theaters. So I just said Genevieve because it was the only name I could think of.
That is incorrect. Dan.
Now that I think about it, it's probably a singer, but I picked someone who wasn't. I went with Michelle Yeoh.
No, we were actually looking for the name of the character, not a person.
Oh.
So Spence.
If it was Aquafina, I'd get that. Yeah.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
All right. Apparently, not a lot of people are paying attention to this name. It's Sisu.
That's right,
Sisu was the name of the titular last dragon. All
And
right.
now no one will ever forget it.
It'd be hilarious though.
Sure I will.
Michelle Yeoh, though.
All right. So not a high scoring round this time. Spence, currently the only person with any points on the board in this round, with 1. Bethany and Spence still tied at 4, going into the 4th question of the round.
All right. Question 4 comes from Mixed Bag. What is the name of Goofy's son in a Goofy movie? This movie makes me cry. Like,
Yeah?
I can't watch it.
Wow.
I don't know. Like, ever since I was little, I've never been able to watch it.
I know a lot of people that love this movie from.
Oh, I do too. And like, it
childhood.
has some great music, but I don't know. Like, I got really upset, and I
Wow.
can't watch it.
Wow, I've never really. I don't know that I know anyone that even says that they tear up with this movie.
Oh my gosh.
That's-
I don't know. It did something to me, and it still does anytime I watch it.
That is rather interesting. All right, so
That scene in the hot tub where it's like, it's my son.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Apparently, Amanda has a soft spot for father and son stories. We are gonna start now with Dan. Dan, do you got anything?
Well, I wrote something down. Let's see what we got here. Jordan?
That is incorrect. All right, Spence
Shout out to the Goofy video game on PS2. It was great. Max.
is Max. Bethany.
Max, which is short for Maximilian, which I'm
I was
sure
about
I
to
spelled
say, I
incorrectly.
think if you missed this, your sister would disown you.
She would be right.
All right. So Spence and Bethany keeping it tied at 5. Dan still having a hard time getting in here.
So what's all this whole Disney thing? So is this like a related group of movies that we're talking about
Yeah,
here?
a little
or
bit.
like a single
Little bit.
producer or something?
Let us see if Dan can keep the streak alive going into the 5th and final question in this round. And that comes to us in the category of classics. These are the films of the 50s. What is the name of the overweight mouse who is saved by Cinderella early in the film?
I love the mice. They're so cute.
Yeah, I mean, I will definitely say they were probably my favorite part of this film as a kid. And I think a lot of the comedy still actually holds up pretty well. But
My
we will
favorite
have
was
to
when they were
see.
carrying like the corn and like getting it stuck under its, and he's like holding it under his chin. Anytime my hands are full, that's what I think of.
Do you also try to bite your packages?
I don't bite them.
No. All right, we'll have to see if any of our competitors can come up with this name in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, and I believe we are starting with Spence.
Bad feeling about this. Gus.
Gus is correct. Bethany,
Let's go.
we will accept that. They call him that several times
Yeah.
throughout the film. Dan,
I'm still playing.
currently.
Chuck.
That is incorrect.
Wow, Dan, you've got a perfect record.
Uh-huh.
Yes. But Dan is only currently down by 6. He actually
they're not even
still
trying.
has a chance to get into this match. So he's staying in it, at least for another round. We will just have to see how the rest of this goes. All right. So, competitors, like I said, we currently are going into the 3rd round. The score is currently tied between Spence and Bethany, both at 6. Dan having a hard time getting started here with a big goose egg. However, the score is low enough that he can still rally back if he can get lucky here. So we will go ahead and go into the next question in this round.
All right, our next question comes from the Muppets category.
Woo!
Which Muppet serves as the Electric Mayhem Band's manager in the Muppet movie?
Band manager of the Electric Mayhem. Who is it? I love Muppets films. How do you feel about the Muppets?
I absolutely love the Muppets. My
Nice.
favorite will always be Muppet Treasure Island.
Okay, yeah, okay. So you're more of a '90s kid than I am. I think my favorite is and always will be the original Muppet movie. But
That
I
one
do
is very
have
good.
quite affection for those '90s films, both Christmas Carol and Treasure Island. They're pretty good stuff. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right, Bethany.
I only know the names of like 3 Muppet characters, so I just went with one that I remember, which is Fozzie.
Fozzie is incorrect.
I'm not surprised.
Dan.
I think I might have gotten one right.
You got it! Scooter is correct. I was
Scooter
gonna say, if you
is
missed this
correct.
one, we were gonna have words later. And Spence.
Dr. Bozo sounds like a Muppet.
That does sound like a Muppet for sure.
So
Dr. Keith
not
was the
only
lead singer,
does
so-
Dan get one correct, but he gets one that the other 2
Oh.
miss.
Good job.
So he actually goes up a little bit. He's now only down by 5
Let's go, Dan.
in this match. So let's
Hello,
see.
fellow point scorers.
Let's see if he can keep this momentum going with the next question in this round. In the category of wilderness, these are the films of the 80s. Okay? And your question: what is the name of the older dog who trains Copper in The Fox and the Hound? Fox and the Hound, always a sad movie to me as a child.
Yeah, it's sadder to me now than when I was younger. There are some
Really?
movies that like I can handle now that I couldn't when I was younger, but that's definitely one that I'm like I can't do
Yeah.
it.
It was actually, we actually didn't own a lot of Disney animated films, but it was one of the few that we owned, and I remember thinking, why do we own this? I only will watch it like maybe once every couple of years because it's so sad. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we are starting with Dan.
Okay, I'm hoping that there's some sort of like metal theme going on with Copper, so I went with Rusty.
That is incorrect. Spence,
The Chief?
Chief is
Yes.
correct. Bethany,
I have cheese.
all right. So Spence and Bethany back on the answering train and keeping it tied amongst the 2 of them. Going into the 3rd question in this round.
All right, question 3 comes from recent Pixar. Who provides the voice of Forky in Toy Story 4?
Oh my god.
That movie cracked me up.
That's-
Oh my gosh, I laughed so hard at that movie.
Trash?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's good to remember the character, but do you remember who voiced him? That is the question on the table here today, and we will have to find out if any of our competitors can get it in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right, Spence, let's see what you got.
It's the worst Toy Story movie by far. Tony Hale.
That is correct. I'd argue though with the worst though, but that's all right. Bethany.
Just went with the voice actor, Alan Tudyk. Pretty sure it wasn't him.
That is incorrect. Never a bad choice though to go for.
Sure.
And Dan.
I went with the wrong one with the Chip and Dale movie.
Oh, okay.
I got it mixed up in my head.
Yep, John Mulaney is incorrect there.
All right, so Spence actually taking an overall lead, 8-7, also with a 1-point lead in this round. So we will be moving now into the next category, and that is early classics just early classics, the films of the 30s through the 40s. And your question: which 2 of the 7 dwarves have names that do not end with Y? So now it's just a question of, do you remember all 7 dwarves' names?
That I can definitely name. I'm not going to right now because I'm not going to give the answer away.
Absolutely. That's a very good decision to make there for you, Amanda.
The nice thing about this one is that you can't write down the wrong answer.
Well, you can.
Oh, yeah.
Just make up a name.
1. All right. So we are, I believe, starting now with Bethany.
It took me a few seconds to get the second one, but I have Doc and Bashful.
Doc and Bashful is correct. Dan.
I also managed to get it right.
All right. Dan staying alive. Doc and Bashful. Spence.
Doc Bashful.
Doc and Bashful
Dr.
is
Bashful.
correct. All right. So we will now be moving into the final question in this round. This is the final question before the final round in this match.
All right, are you ready? This category is the Renaissance, which are films from mostly the 90s. What is the name of Belle's horse in Beauty and the Beast?
Oh.
It's not a character a lot of people think about.
No. I mean, I will say that the name is said several times in the film, so it is absolutely gettable. But, you know, not, as you said, not necessarily a character a lot of people think about. We will just have to see how it goes in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right, this time we are starting with Dan.
Apple Blossom? I know that's wrong.
That is incorrect. Spence.
It's something French, right? I put Pierre, but it's something French.
Well, you're on the right track.
Unfortunately, we
But that
cannot
is incorrect.
accept Pierre or something French.
Bethany.
I'm pretty sure it's Philippe.
That is correct.
Wait, did I get that in back-to-back matches and I got it wrong both times?
I mean, I don't know. I can tell you that you did get it wrong. But it is Philippe. So at the end of this round, Spence and Bethany are tied 9-9. Dan coming in with 2 points, and at this point, Dan, you are mathematically eliminated. But
Well,
you know,
it's not like you're not going to notice even if I kept playing. I'm just going to use up more ink. That's all.
But you know, tough day for you, Dan. But I know you know more than was on display today. Just had a tough time getting started. But good luck to you, sir, and we will see you later.
MU forever.
All right, so we are down to 2. One of these 2 will not only win this match, but will be awarded a Spinner's Choice token that they can use in any regular match that does not have title implications or tournament implications. We will just have to see who that is, starting with the first question in this round in the category of the Dark Times. These are the films of the 2000s. And your question. In Bolt, what is the name of the cat who teaches Bolt how to be a dog? Do you have any thoughts or feelings about Bolt, Amanda?
You know, I remember watching it when it first came out. I haven't seen it since. I did enjoy it while I was watching it. You know, being a cat mom now, I wonder how it's gonna be. What a lot of these that like, I always had cats, but I wasn't always a cat mom, I guess is the difference.
Sure. Yeah, it's not too bad. I will say I think it's downplayed a little bit more than it deserves. But
yeah, it was fun.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. And I believe we're starting with Spence.
Yeah. Is it Mittens?
Mittens is correct. Bethany.
I did not remember. I went with Fiona because an F sounded right, and that was clearly not.
All right. So Spence taking an early lead in this round. We'll have to see if they can keep it up going into the second question.
All right, second question comes from Hybrid Films. Question is, Jim Backus, Helen Reddy, and Jim Dale can be found in which film?
Yeah, the cast list of, possibly an older film, maybe not be people that you are familiar with. So could be a little tricky. I just have to do some educated guessing here in 5.
One, I would know the character names,
3,
not the actors.
2, and 1. All right. And we are starting with Bethany.
I've been listening to Harry Potter read by Jim Dale, which has been fun. The movie is Pete's Dragon.
The movie is Pete's Dragon. Spence.
Never would have gotten that.
No. All right. So Bethany answering back and tying it up immediately. 1-1, 10-10 overall. Going into the third question. In the Incredibles films. Sorry, this is Pixar. In the Incredibles films, what is the last name of the Incredibles family?
Oh, Dan's going to be so mad he didn't get to answer this question.
We are, of course, talking about their real life, out of character names. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's of course you know this one, Dan. Yeah, it's just what happens. It's how the cookie crumbles. We will have to see if our competitors know this one in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, and we are going to Spence.
Par.
Par is correct. Bethany.
I flipped that prematurely, but yes, par.
That's right. They are not so incredible. They are just on par. All right. So we are going to go now. They are still tied. 11-11 overall, going into the fourth question in this round.
Question 4 comes from The Decline, which are films from the 60s through the 70s. Name the actor who voiced characters such as Baloo, Thomas O'Malley, and Little John. Such good movies, such good characters.
Yeah, these are definitely some of my all-time favorites from when I was a child. A lot of that has to do with their particular voice actor. Brought great life into these characters. We will have to see if our competitors know exactly who that is in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right, Bethany. Bethany.
I hope I'm not mixing them up with someone else, but I'm pretty sure it's Phil Harris.
Phil Harris is correct.
Put Pat O'Malley.
That is incorrect. You got the O'Malley from one of the characters, at least.
Yeah. Well, there is a Pat O'Malley actor, right? Like that's definitely
Probably. I just don't know who it is.
Yeah, I believe J. Pat O'Malley was the voice of Tweedledee and Tweedledum in
I am
Alice
bad
in
with classic
Wonderland,
voice
a whole
actors.
bunch
You
of
couldn't
other
tell.
stuff.
I just threw a name.
It's fine. It's fine. All right. So with that, Bethany takes a 1-point lead. So with this, Spence can tie it up and force it into sudden death overtime, or Bethany maintains her lead, then she will win this match and claim that Spinner's Choice token. Let us see. With the category of package films, the short collections of the 40s. I think the last time we had one of these, we had a big goose egg. So we will just have to see how things go this time. In the first segment of Saludos Amigos, Donald Duck visits what famous lake?
I have to know water? Oh, no.
It's the name of the segment, actually. So.
What is water?
That was my
Dan-
reaction. I think
Dan
I had this
letting us
question
know
once.
from off camera that he knows this one too. Well, Dan, you should have.
Well, I guess you should have gotten your questions right earlier, honey.
Question is, do either of our competitors currently playing know this? We will just have to see.
Can I borrow
in
Dan's point?
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. And we are starting. Actually, you know what? We're going to start. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead. Let's start with Bethany, because if she gets this right, it's over. If she gets it wrong, Spence still has a chance. Bethany, what was your answer?
This is the one that I watched, and I still didn't remember. So I know it was somewhere in down south. So I said Gulf of Mexico. I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
That is incorrect.
But it is a body of water.
All right, so Spence, for your opportunity to tie it up to force to sudden death, what was your answer?
Lake Bell.
And your winner, Bethany Bam Megill. Congratulations, Bethany. This was actually a hard-fought match between both of you all the way to the end. Bethany was just able to pull out one more than Spence was there at the end, therefore claiming this win and the Spinner's Choice token. But great job to both of you. Spence, like I said, great performance, just wasn't your day today. But we will be bringing Bethany back in just a second for a post-match interview.
That was a
Oh
fun
yeah,
match.
I didn't actually say the answer there. It was Lake Titicaca was the answer we were looking for. Lake Titicaca.
Dan's giggling in another room right now.
I'm sure he is. But yeah, like I said, sometimes that's just how the questions fall. The ones that you get are the ones you don't know, and the ones that you're eliminated for, all of them.
That's happened to me many a time.
Yes, but like I said, this now gives Bethany that elusive second win that she has been waiting for since her debut, as well as a spinner's choice token. So what do you say we go ahead and turn things over to our post-match interview?
Sounds good.
And I have here today's winner of the triple threat second chance match. Bethany, congratulations. How are you feeling finally getting that second win under your belt?
Yes, it's been a long time coming. I've had a lot of defeats, and which is not surprising. So I did not see this one coming today, but I'm disappointed I didn't get the answer to the package film that I just watched like a week ago. But my goal is to watch through the rest of them and through the Muppet movies. So I'll hopefully keep improving my chances as it goes.
Well, there you go. There you go. Bethany, I got to say, you started off this match really impressive, getting 4 out of the first 5 questions correct, only missing the one, director's question. So is this kind of you feel like this is maybe a return to form for you, or was it just the right questions today?
I think it could have been just the right questions. Certainly, I get tripped up with directors a lot and specific actors and years. So there were just a lot of these that fell into movies I'd seen a lot. So that helped.
Sure. Well, Bethany, you now have won that spinner's choice token. So now in any, match that does not have tournament or title implications, you can use that in any match. Are you already thinking of plans for this this token?
I've got a few that I feel like are probably some stronger ones for me. Clearly not using this on Muppets or package films, but yeah, I'll have to keep looking and seeing what the categories will be at the time that I use it. But I've got a couple ideas in mind.
All right. Well, like I said, congratulations to you today, Bethany. Great job, and excited to see how you cash in that spinner's choice token.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, there you have it. The spinner's choice token and the win goes to Bethany Bam Megill, but a hard-fought match from the Theytriarch, Adelaide Spence, and Dan was here too. No, I mean, Dan, like I said, Dan unfortunately just couldn't get started. I know
he just had a rough match.
A good number of those questions. He just had a tough time getting going. But this is not the end of Movie Battles BlowOut. We have a lot of great matches coming your way. We have a big number 1 contender qualifying match. We have a grudge match, and then of course that big championship match, the final match of BlowOut. So don't go far. Make sure to stick to the channel, keep watching, check out all of the podcasts that we have going on, and also make sure to check out the Patreon at patreon.com/theflyingcow for all of that great stuff. And remember, in order to check it all out, you got to stay here. You got to stay watching. And never forget, move.
Mm.